Hi, my name is David, and in this video I'm going to show you how to fetch data from the Axie Infinity Marketplace using the Elliptical Add-on. As always, if you want to use the add-on, go to Extensions, Add-ons, Get Add-ons. You search for Elliptical, and there you have it. Just click Install, and you will have access to the custom functions I'm going to use here. So let's say that I want to know the price of Axie of type bug, right? So let's say, let's call this bug. So the base class, of course, is a bug. Maybe you want to call this bug a different name because it's a very particular bug. I'm just gonna call it bug, I don't know, test bug, whatever. So in Axie, sometimes a special combination of body parts and base class, they have a specific name the community use. I'm just gonna call it test bug. And now we're gonna define the body parts. Similar to when you go to the marketplace, you can define the base class and the body parts and things like how pure or how many times can be bred. You can do the same here. So we're gonna define mouth. The mouth is gonna be, in this case, pincer. I'm just using it here an example that I have at hand. The bag, let's put it, bag is gonna be scarab. Then we have the tail, and it's gonna be fish snack, snack. All right, and then finally we have the horn, which is gonna be parasite. Okay, let's give it some formatting here so it looks a little nicer. Let's mix this here. I can give it some color typical of a bug here. Okay, so we have defined the bug, and now we can use one of the custom functions to go and fetch the price from the Axie Marketplace. So let's put it here. This is going to be the floor price in ETH, but we're also interested in the floor price, but in US dollar, right? Just use a little more space. Let's separate these two things, a little formatting here. Same here. And now we can use the custom function. And the custom function we're going to use here is start with ELP as always, because of elliptical. And then, what is it? Axie floor price. That's the one we're looking for. So this function expects you to pass the base class, especially the body parts that defines a card that you can use when you play, along with the breed count and the purity of the Axie. So we can just point to the base class is bug, then we have the mouth is pincer, then we have the bag is carp, the tail, fish snack, and then finally the horn parasite. And now for the breed count, let's say that I really don't care. I just want to see the price of Axie of any breed count, 0, 5, 7. For that you can pass a string, the asterisk. It works as a wildcard. Or you can pass a number if you want a specific breed count, for example 0 for a virgin Axie. And for purity, well, we can define 6, given that this is actually a pure bug. Okay, so this actually gives us back the price in ETH. I'm gonna remove some decimals to make it easier to read, so only maybe 3 decimals. I'm gonna align the whole thing, alignment. And now we can use the price of ETH to calculate how much this is going to cost in US dollar. In a previous video, when I show how to build a crypto portfolio, I'll show you how to use the custom function ELP coin price, which is part of the add-on. So we're going to use that value here because we have the price of ETH here. So we can just multiply, go back here and multiply the amount of ETH by the cost and rates, right? And we're gonna log this just in case we want to use somewhere else. So always point to the same price in ETH. So let's verify. Let's talk about how this works. This actually goes to the marketplace that we have here, right? And actually I have filtered the exact same body parts. And what the add-on does, it's gonna look at the 10 cheapest Axies who comply with those categories that we define, those body parts. For example, these 2 rows basically, and it's gonna average the price, right? Let me see if I have here purity up to 6 and breed count. we put the breakdown as a wildcard, as any. So as you can see, it goes all the way from 213 to 225. That's when the add-on we see an average price of 219, and it's using the average just to avoid any weird situations where, because if we were to pick like the cheapest axis, sometimes these axes, they're in a state that cannot be bugged, and sometimes they have a strangely low price. So it's better just to have an average of the 10 lowest price, so it gives you a more realistic number. And once you have that, now you can do the same for other axes you're interested. For example, you can have one for, maybe you have an aquatic aqua axie as well, and the type is aquatic. Keep in mind that if sometimes this combination of body parts and base class, there's nothing in the marketplace that satisfies that criteria. Because if you go to the marketplace and we change the base class to aquatic, there's nothing, it's empty. So what the add-on does in that case, it's just gonna return you 0. So just keep that in mind. Whenever there's nothing is found, it's gonna give you 0. So you can now play with the formatting so it resembles an aqua. Another trick that I like to use is always have a manual trigger for my this custom function. So I just call it here manual trigger and just define any value, let's say 1. And now I pass this reference as always as my last argument, even though the function doesn't expect that, but you can do that and you just lock it. And I'll do the same with this one here. This is something that I always do with the custom function. So I have a way to manually trigger the custom functions to fetch a new price. So now every time that I modify this value, the custom functions trigger, and I know that I'm getting the most recent value from the marketplace. That's it for me. I'll see you in the next video.